Handicapper Steve here, handicapping the racing from Meydan Racecourse here on Saturday. It is March the 30th, 2019. It's Dubai World Cup night from Meydan, and I'm going to look at all the races on the program, including the $12 million Group 1 World Cup. But before I get on to that, remember to please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5 for more selections for race courses around the world, and also join me next Saturday for the Grand National from Aintree. Also next week we have the Wood Memorial and the Bluegrass and the Santa Anita Derby here in America. All those races are prep races to the Kentucky Derby coming up in about almost 5 weeks time, so it's just around the corner. But tonight's card from Meydan, it's a great card. We have 9 races to look at. Let's get to the opener from Meydan. It is the Dubai Kahela Classic. It's a Group 1 race going for a purse of $1 million. Race for 5-year-olds and upwards. The purebred Arabians are running here. Field of 15 horses going the distance of ground of 2,000 meters, or the distance of ground here of 1 mile and 1/4 on the dirt surface. 2,000 meters, a mile and a quarter. And I show the diagram. It just gives me a little extra second to look down at my notes. Just bear with me. Top selection here in the Kahela Classic. I'm going to go to the 3-horse Af Al Sanjeli. I'm going to go 395 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 395 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of the 3-horse Af Al Sanjeli. This 6-year-old colt by Af Al Barag gets Antonio Fresu up. The horse's most recent outing came the 14th of February here at Meydan, 1 mile, 1,600 meters on the dirt in the Group 2 Maserat Al Ruai Stakes, and the horse won by 9.5 there. He had a great run that afternoon. He stalked early on, he got the lead, and then he just took off. It doesn't get any easier than that. Before that, he ran on the 31st of January at Meydan, 1 mile and 3/8, 2,200 meters on the dirt in the Group 2, in the Group 1 Al Maktoum Challenge Round 2 for the Arabians, and he finished third by 3 1/4 lengths there. He stalked early on, and he just couldn't stay the extra furlong that day, or 200 meters. It just unfortunately wasn't the day to win. And then round 1 of the Maktoum Challenge at Meydan, 1,600 meters, 1 mile on the dirt. He finished second by half length. He just stalked and just never had that good turn of foot. But he's run, I think, 3 decent races so far this season. I think here at 15-1 with a good posture, good stalking position, which you want on the dirt. I think he's a horse that's loaded here, along with the number 9 horse. Bit of a price play. Also, the 9-horse Goshoki, or whatever the hell the horse's name is. Pardon me if I mispronounce the horse's name wrong. But this is a 5-year-old horse here by Thoroughbred. I never heard of that one before. But Fernando Jara, a veteran rider, gets the leg up. Fernando Jara used to ride here in the States, especially during his apprentice years. But this horse hasn't been seen since the round 3 of the Maktoum Challenge, going 1 1/4 on the 28th of February. And the horse finished third by 4 1/4 lengths there. He just stalked and never had that good turn of foot. He didn't run half bad, but he just never quickened up. Before that, at Abu Dhabi, a mile 3/8 in the Group 1 President's Cup, he finished 4th by 8 1/4 lengths there. And that afternoon, he had a wide post, similar to last time's outing, and he just never again got into it. And then before that, made on a mile 3/8 in round 2 of the challenge. He won by a head. He stalked early on, got the lead, and he fought a good race down straightaway. It looked like he wasn't going to stay the 2,200 or the mile 3/8, but he did, and he ran a good effort. I think here at 15-1, he's another horse that you want to put on your multi-race tickets. Here in America, they're offering a double and a pick 3. So if you're going to play it, those 2 horses you definitely want to use, even if they go up in odds, and very nice odds. I might also do a nice each way or a win-place wager on them. So we'll both use them here. But to recount my selection for the first from Meydan on World Cup night, it's the Group 1 Dubai Kahela Classic. I'll take as a top selection of the 3-horse Af Al Sanjeli. I'll go 395. I'll use the 3 and the 9 definitely on a multi-race ticket. So now let's get to the second. Race number 2 from Meydan. It is the Group 2 Godolphin Mile. It's going for a purse of $1.5 million. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Actually, 3-year-olds and upwards for the Southern Hemisphere, and for the Northern Hemisphere, 4-year-olds and upwards. Field of 13 horses going the distance of ground of 1,600 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile on the dirt course. 1,600, 1 mile, dirt course. Top selection here in the Godolphin Mile. I'll take the number 4 horse Kimbear. I'll go 4, 12, 6 in the TriCash trifecta. 4, 12, 6 TriCash trifecta. In the multi-race, say a pick 3 or something, or a pick 4, I would go 4, 12. I think those two you want to use. But the top selection is 4 horse Kimbear. This 5-year-old horse by Temple City. Doug Watson trains. Pat Dobbs gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came the 14th of February at Meydan. 1 mile, 1,600 meters on the dirt in the Group 3 Firebreak Stakes. The horse finished 4th by 9 lengths. Just keep in mind that a lot of those horses that were running that day are running back this one, the first 4 at least. But this horse, he just never got a good turn of foot. He was never himself. He just never got into it. It wasn't the day to win because even though the race before he ran a good effort in the round 1 of the Maktoum Challenge, going 1,600 meters 1 mile on the 10th of January here made down. He finished 2nd by 9 lengths by North America, who won next start out, and actually is running later on in the World Cup. But this horse he stalked, couldn't get that good turn of foot, but he ran well there. And then he ran in the listed Garhound Sprint here at Meydan, 6 furlongs, December the 6th, where he finished 3rd by 3 lengths there. And I thought that day, first off the break, even with a wide postra, he did close up well for a 6 furlong trip, which probably wasn't to his liking, but he still ran decently. But then he ran in this race last year, the Godolphin Mile, March 31st here at Meydan. He finished 6th by 7 lengths from wide 12 out of 14 barrier. He left early on, he stalked, and then he just never got that good turn of foot. Unfortunately, it wasn't the day to win because he showed some heart in the race before, the local prep race for the Godolphin Mile, the Bergen of 2018, where he won by 1 1/4, and he sat on the front end and had a very good going away victory. I think coming here, good postra, throughout his last race. I think with another, a little bit of a break between the races, I think is a horse that's going to be loaded here. And at 15-1, you want to use him. I'm also going to use the American 12 horse Cold Front. This 5-year-old Ridgeling by Stay Thirsty. Tom Pletcher trains. Jose Ortiz comes in from South Florida to ride this one. The horse's most recent outing came the 18th of February to Oaklawn, mile 16th in the Grade 3 Razorback Handicap. The horse won by a neck there from a 14 out of 14 post draw. This horse left early, got 2nd off the gate. He stalked all the way around, got the lead, and looked like he was going to win by a lot, but then he kind of just hit the wall a little bit at the end, but he held on to a good victory first off the break. I think you're 2nd off the break, from a wide post setting the pace. I think he could maybe get away with it. Before that, he ran the Mr. Prospector at Gulfstream, 7 furlongs, December the 22nd, and the horse won by 3 1/4 lengths there. 2nd off the break from a wide post he stalked early on, he got the lead, and then he took off. That was a very good victory. And then before that, in the Bold Ruler Handicap at Aqueduct, 7 furlongs, November the 2nd, the horse finished 5th by 15.5 lengths. It was his first start in 13 months. He desperately needed the race. After setting the pace early on, he just kind of weakened out of it, but he needed the race. I think coming here, 2nd off the break, good workouts under his belt in South Florida, I think he'd get a piece of it. One quick thing about him, it's not about him, but the Americans have won this race, but they haven't won this race since 2008, so it's been 11 years. They've never won it here at Meydan. As you remember, the 2008 edition was run at Nat Al Sheba, just across the road, on the property. But like I said, the Americans never won this race locally here at Meydan, but they have won this race in the past, but it's just been a while. But I think he's another horse, like I said, he could get a piece fit on the front end, so I'll use him here, definitely on a pick 3 ticket. But to recount my selections for the 2nd from Meydan, it's the Group 2 $1.5 million Godolphin Mile. Top selection, I'll take the 4 horse Kimbear. I'll go 4, 12, 6 in the TriCash trifecta. I'll definitely use the 4 and the 12 in my multi-race ticket. So now let's get to the Stayers run on the turf course race number 3 from Meydan, which is the Group 2 Dubai Gold Cup. It's sponsored by Altair Motors. It's a Group 2 race going for a purse of $1.5 million. Races for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 10 horses going 3,200 meters or 2 miles over the turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to take the 5 horse Prince of Iran. I'm going to go 5, 2, 9 in the TriCash trifecta. 5, 2, 9 TriCash trifecta. In the pick 3 to end it off, I'm going to go 5, 2. This ticket for a pick 3, it's going to cost, just a few dollars. It's very affordable, so hope you play it. I know I will. But 529 in the TriCast, top selection 5-horse Prince of Iran, the 6-year-old given by Scirocco, who is best to be remembered by winning the 2005 Breeders' Cup Turf here in New York at Belmont. Last time the Breeders' Cup was run here in New York at Belmont. They better run it here again soon. But this Prince of Iran, Ocean Murphy, gets the leg up. His most recent outing came the 9th of March here at Meydan, a mile and a half from the Group 2 Dubai City of Gold. He finished 4th by 3 1/4 lengths there. He stalked most of the race. He just never quickened up. He didn't weaken out of it either. He just stayed, he needed the race. I think second off the break, getting the 2-mile trip, which I think he's going to love. I think he's sitting on a good race. The race before, it wasn't himself. He ran at Sha Tin in Hong Kong in the Group 1 Hong Kong Vase, where he finished 8th by 7.5 lengths there. That afternoon, he had a wide post draw. He didn't break all that well, and everything that could go wrong went wrong that afternoon. It wasn't the day to win. And then before that, he ran in the Group 1 Melbourne Cup at Flemington, 2 miles over soft ground on the 6th of November. He finished a good third-place finish that day. That afternoon, he stalked early on from a wide poster. He just never got the good closing kick, but he ran a good effort on probably ground he didn't really like. He's the kind of horse that will like the firm ground or close to firm ground that you're going to see today. And then before that, he ran the Lexus Stakes at Flemington mile 9/16 a few days earlier, which he won by a half length. He had a great turn of foot and he won nicely. He's another horse here that's going to like the trip, going to like the ground, and I think 15-1, you definitely want to use him along with the 2-horse Call the Wind, 3-1. Aureline Lemetry gets the leg up for Freddie Head, and this 5-year-old gelding by Frankel. When I think about Frankel, I really don't think about stayers, but this horse proves that he could stay. His most recent outing came at Shunti on the 5th of March, mile 3/16 on the polytrack in the Prix de Darshan, just an allowance race. He finished second by 2.5 lengths there. He's at mid-pack, a little bit of a turn of foot, but they weren't really, the purse was $34,000, which is basically nothing considered to today's $1.5 million. So they weren't really pushing the horse to get the victory. He got around the race course well. It was a good effort for a trial race. But before that, he ran in the Group 1 Prix de Coudran at La Champ, 2 miles and 1/2 on soft ground, October the 6th. He won by 1 1/4 lengths there. That was his coming out party. He stalked early on. He had a great turn of foot, and he just loved it. It was a very good run there. And then before that, at Deauville in the Prix de Saint-Alain Stakes, just a basic allowance race, he won by 2.5, staying the mile 5/8 or 2600. He just won very nicely, and then he won a Clairefontaine in allowance race very nicely in August. He's a horse that's a winner of his last. He won 3 in a row. He didn't win his last time out, but he's another horse he should stay for days. And 3-1, a horse you definitely want to use on your ticket. Not the best price in the world, but like I said, we have some other prices and other legs of this pick 3. But to recap my selections now for the third from Meydan, it is the Group 2 Dubai Gold Cup. As a top selection, I'll take the 5-horse Prince of Iran. I'll go 5-2-9 in the TriCast trifecta. I'll go 5-2 to end off the pick 3. So now let's get to race number 4. Back to the turf again for race number 4 from Meydan. It is the Group 1 Alquaz Sprint. It's going for a purse of $2 million. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 13 horses, the Baker's dozen, going the distance of ground of 1,200 meters, with a distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the turf course. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs down the straightaway turf. And one thing I do miss about Natal Sheba, by the way, it's going to be 10 years since the last Natal Sheba World Cup. This is going to be the 10th edition to be held at Meydan, which opened in 2010. But Natal Sheba, what I miss about was the Golden Shaheen being run on the 1,200 or 6 furlong dirt straightaway, because that was a very exciting race. This one is too, but those, for an American's point of view, we don't have very, our straightaways, we don't have like 6 furlong straight races. We'll have 440 down the straightaway at quarter horses tracks, but for thoroughbreds, you don't see that very often. So it's very fun to watch these races. But I do miss the 1,200 meter straightaway Golden Shaheen, but we have the Alquaz Sprint. My top selection here, I tried picking away from the favorite Blue Point. I couldn't pick away from him because he looks so hard to beat. I'm gonna go 892 in the TriCast trifecta. 892 TriCast trifecta. Top selection 8-horse Blue Point. This 5-year-old horse by Shamadal, one of my worst selections on World Cup night in the 2004 UAE Derby. Yeah, go back and look at the replay and see where he finished. Not one of my better tips, but Charles Appleby trains. William Buick gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came the 9th of March here at Meydan. 6 furlongs in the Nat El Shiba Sprint, a Group 3 event, and the horse won by 3 lengths there. He set mid-pack early, he got the lead, and then he just took off. That was a very good run for this horse there. He's been, destroying these horses in Meydan all winter. Before they ran the Group 2 Meydan Sprint here at Meydan, 5 furlongs on good ground on Valentine's Day, and he won by 5. He started early on, he got the lead, and then he just took off. Another very easy race. And then again at York, 5 furlongs in the Group 1 Nunthorpe. He finished third by 2.5 lengths there. He had a little bit of a turn of foot, but the two in front of him ran the better races. Just keep in mind, Mabs Cross finished second when Neck started out, and then he ran the July Cup at Newmarket, where he didn't really get up the hill well. He finished 7 by 4 3/4 lengths there, and he just wasn't himself that afternoon. And then he won it in the King's Stand at Royal Ascot very easily by 1 3/4 on a stalking trip. You're going to see a lot of pace in this one for the American horses, and I think it's going to suit up for a horse like this. So I'll use him as a top selection. I'm gonna use an American horse here, possibly in the multi-race pick 6 or pick 3, whatever. If I play a multi-race ticket, I want to talk about the 9-horse Caribou Club. It's 5-year-old given by City Zip. Tom Proctor trains. Joe Talamo picks up the mount. Keep in mind, no American-based horses won on the turf here at Meydan or Nat El Shiba on World Cup night. That's never happened, but I think it might change today, because if Blue Point doesn't show up, I think this Caribou Club could possibly show up, because his most recent outing came at Santa Anita, 6.5 furlongs down the Hillside Turf Course in the Grade 3 Joe Hernandez Stakes. He won by 1 1/4 lengths there, and that afternoon he sat back early, got a great turn of foot after a good pace in front of him, and he beat Stormy Liberal, who's running back in this one. Stormy Liberal won her last year's Breeze Cup Turf Sprint at Churchill, but this horse, he had the jump on it, and he ran very well. Before that, in the Seabiscuit Handicap at Del Mar, mile 16, November the 24th, he won by 1 1/4, and he sat back early after not the best beginnings, was a little bit wide, but he closed up well to get the victory. And then the Eddie D at Santa Anita, where he finished third by 3/4 length, didn't break all that well, but closed up well again at the end. He's another horse, if there's a fast pace, and you're going to see a closer get to it, he's another horse at 15-1 that could possibly do it. But like I said, Blue Point does still look hard to beat, but this is a little bit of a price play at 15-1. But to recap my selections for the 4th from Meydan, it's the Group 1 $2 million Aqua Sprint. I'll go with the 8-horse Blue Point. I'll use the 9-horse Caribou Club as a bit of a long shot price play, and I'll go 8, 9, 2 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. So now let's get to race number 5. Race number 5 from Meydan, it's the Group 2 UAE Derby. It's going for a purse of $2.5 million. This race is for 3-year-olds here. We have a field of 14 horses heading the distance of ground of 1,900 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 3/16 on the dirt course. 1,900, 1 mile 3/16 dirt. A lot of these horses are Triple Crown nominated, and that's a good thing, because you earn points to the Kentucky Derby with this race. I believe it's 100 points, which will most definitely get you in the starting gate on the first Saturday of May at Churchill. My top selection, I'm going to use the Japanese Invader, the 5-horse Derma Lorvi. I'm going to go 5-1-6 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 5-1-6 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection 5-horse Derma Lorvi. This 3-year-old colt by Pyro. Christophe Lemary gets the leg up. The horse's most recent outing came the 17th of February at Tokyo. 1 mile, 16 meters on a fast dirt course in the Hyacinth Stakes. The horse finished third by 3 1/4 lengths there. He was sent off as the favorite. He stalked most of the race, and he just never had that good turn of foot. He didn't run half bad, but he just never had that good turn of foot. Before that, he ran a Kawasaki on the 19th of December, 1 mile, 1600 meters on muddy going in the Zen Nippon Nasi Yushan Stakes, illicit stakes. He finished second by a head there, and that afternoon, he just stalked most of the race. It was an all-out finish. He just couldn't get the neck in front, but he ran a good effort there. And then before that, at Sonoda, 7 furlongs, 14 meters in the Hoigo Junior Grand Prix illicit stakes there. He won by 4 lengths there. He didn't break all that well. He stalked, he got the lead, and then he took off clear. A very good run. I think the mile 3/16 trip or 1900 meter trip should suit him today. He's a good poster. He could sit closer. I think, he's a very live horse at 12-1. I love the price, and he'll be definitely a use here. So I'll take him at 12-1. But to recount my selections now for the fifth from Meydan, it's the Group 2 $2.5 million UAE Derby. I'll take the 5-horse Double V. I'm going to go 5-1-6 in the trifecta. So now let's get race number 6 from Meydan. It's probably one of the most wide open races of the evening. It is the Group 1 Dubai Golden Shaheen. It's going for a purse of $2.5 million. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. Field of 10 horses dashing the distance of ground of 1,200 meters with a distance of ground of 6 furlongs on the dirt course. 1,200 meters, 6 furlongs. And this is a very wide open race. The pick 4 or the quaddy begins off with this race, and I'm gonna go 40 because I just can't. It's so wide open. It wouldn't surprise me if any of these 4 win. So I'll be using them. But the top selection here, I'll use the 2-horse Imperial Hint. I'm gonna go 2-5-4-3 in the superfecta, 2-5-4-3 super, and I'll use all 4 of those horses in my pick 4 or quaddy, as they call it down under and some of the places around the world. But the top selection is 2-horse Imperial Hint, the 6-year-old horse by Imperialism. Jose Ortiz gets on this one today for the first time. This horse had a great 2018 campaign, but in 2019 this horse has really fallen off the map. Most recently at Tampa, 6 furlong the Pelican, he was facing nobodies and he just never got into it. He finished third by 5 lengths. He stalked and just never had a rally. Maybe it was first off the break, maybe needed the race. Tampa, that course at Tampa could be a little weird sometimes, so maybe it just was a little bit of a weird track. But since that race, he's been training a lot better, so maybe he's rearing to go. He's gonna have to run with first time no LASIK, which does scare me a little bit. But I think like I said, his workout patterns at Tampa has been getting better and better since the last one. Before then, the Breeders' Cup Sprint at Churchill, 6 furlongs November the 3rd. He finished third by 5 lengths, and I didn't back him that day, and he was bent to the ground. He just had nothing. He didn't break all that well. He had a treble trip, very wide, and it wasn't the day to win. And then the Vosburg at Belmont, 6 furlongs, 10 of the 29th. He won by 1.25 lengths and 1:08.1. It was almost course record time. He sat on the front and all throughout, and he just didn't even get whipped in the straightaway. It was a very easy race. And then the Vanderbilt handicap at Saratoga, 6 furlongs, July 28th. The horse won by 3.25 lengths, and that day, he was very wide. He just again walked home to a very good victory, and he won the True North before that at Belmont very nicely also. He's the kind of horse he doesn't have to sit on the front end if he doesn't, he can stalk. And you're going to see a lot of pace from other horses here. And I think stalking should really suit this one today. So I'll use him as a top selection. Of course, I'll use the 5-horse drafted also. I think he's the best local chance or the best non-American-based horse chance in this race. But this horse is most, Pat Dobbs gets on drafted. This 5-year-old gun by Field Commission. This horse's most recent outing came in the Mob Al-Shamil here at Meydan 6 furlongs on Super Saturday, where he won by neck. He sat towards the mid-pack that day. He got the lead and he took off clear. It was a very good victory there. Before in the Yalshindaga last year at Meydan, earlier this season at Meydan, he won by 3.25. And again, he sat back early. He had a great turn of foot and he got there in the nick of time. And then he ran in the Dubai Stakes opening day here at Meydan at the Carnival, where he finished second by 1.75 lengths. And again, he closed up well. He's a closer. If there's going to be a pace meltdown like last year with Mind Your Biscuits, this horse will make that closing run. I don't think he'll run as good as Mind Your Biscuits. Mind Your Biscuits probably ran and win the best races I've ever seen in lifetime on such a speed favoring course. But I think coming here back to sprinting, this horse is live, so I'll use him along with the the 4-horse Promises Fulfilled, 4-year-old colt by Shackford. Dale Romans trains. Robbie Alvarado picks up the mount. Dale Romans doesn't have the best numbers first off breaks. You just have to keep that in mind. But this horse hasn't been seen since Breeders' Cup Sprint at Churchill, 6 furlongs back in November, where he finished 4th by 5.25. He stalked early on, and then he just kind of weakened out of it. Couldn't keep up at the end. Before then, the Phoenix at Keeneland, 6 furlongs, October the 5th. He won by a head, and he sat on the front end all throughout. And he went away with it. It was a very good run. And then the King's Bishop, Alan Jerkins at Saratoga, 7 furlongs, 25th of August. The horse won by 1.25 on lead all throughout. He just went away with it, and he won the Amston at Saratoga very easily on the front end also. He's another horse. He's speedy enough, and I think he'd also get a piece of it along with the 3-horse XY Jet. This 7-year-old gelding here by Canthros. Jorge Navarro trains. Asmiel Jaramillo gets the leg up. His horse has been the bridesmaid twice in this race, but never the bride. He ran this race last year and he finished second by a head and it looked like he was going to win, but Mind Your Biscuits just ran the race, of a lifetime. He closed up well, but this horse, he just couldn't get into it. But since then, he won the Smile Sprint at Gulfstream very nicely, but then he got injured and then he came back in the Sunshine Million Sprint where he needed the race. He finished fourth by 6 3/4 lengths. He was on the drive and he just wasn't 100% cranked there, and then he came back to an allowance victory at Gulfstream last time out. But he is in his 7-year-old campaign. How much of it, is it going to catch up to him? That's the biggest question. Because he came in this race last year by winning by 7 lengths, and a few years ago he came in this race, winning by good not margins. But he, like I said, he's getting old, and he has a few injuries under his belt. Can he keep up here? I have him on the bottom of a ticket for a reason, because I'm just not sure about him. But the old man still might show up. He might become the bride today. So I'll use him here as an insurance policy. But to recount my selection for the 6th from Meydan, it's the Group 1 Dubai Golden Shaheen. I'll take the 2-horse Imperial Hint as a top selection. I'll go 2, 5, 4, 3 in the superfecta, and I'll go 2, 5, 4, 3 in the pick 4 or the quaddy. So now let's get to race number 6. The 7th race from Meydan, it is the Group 1 $6 million Dubai Turf. It's for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 13 horses going the distance of ground of 1,800 meters, or the distance of ground of 1 mile and 1/8 on the turf course. 1,800 mile and 1/8. My top selection here, I'm going to use the favorite, the number 7 horse Almond Eye. I'm going to go 7-12-1 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 7-12-1 Tri-Cash Trifecta. My top selection is the 7 horse Almond Eye. This 4-year-old mare by Lard Clamosa. I guess Christophe Lemairie up. The horse's most recent appearance came the 25th of November, actually my birthday, at Tokyo. 1.5 miles on firm ground in the Group 1 Japan Cup, and the horse did everything right. Won by 1 3/4 lengths. She stalked early on. She got the lead and she just flew home. She ran a good 1.5 miles in 2 minutes and 20 seconds, so that's quite fast. And that's up there with the Secretariat time, even if you put in the run-up like we have here in America. But that was a great race for her. Before that, she ran a Kyoto on the 14th of October, 1.25 miles in the Group 1 Shuka Show, and she won by 1.5 lengths there. That day she stalked early on. She got the lead from a wide poster, and then she went away with it. It was a very good run. And then the Japanese Oaks at Tokyo last May, 1.5 miles. She won by 2. That afternoon she didn't, she wasn't herself. She didn't really get into it early on, but later in the race she got to herself and she took off clear. It was a very good run. And then before that, another race at Hanshin, there she didn't break well, but she still got the victory in the Japanese 1,000 guineas at Hanshin. She won by 1 3/4. Horrible break, but she closed up well at the end. She should love the 1,800 meter trip. She should be rearing to go off the break, and like I said, I think she's a great horse with a great future. The Japanese want to win the Arc de Triomphe very badly, and I think this might be their best chance to date. I should book the trip to Paris right now. The Enable Almond Eye Arc showdown, even though they might be they're tackling some British races with Almond Eye this summer, possibly some races at York and stuff, so possibly Ascot. So let's see what's on the horizon with this horse. But like I said, I think she's real deal. She's a single in the pick 4 for me. So to recount my selection for the 7th from Meydan, it's the Group 1 $6 million Dubai Turf. I'll take the 7 horse Almond Eye. I'll go 7-12-1 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. Race number 8 from Meydan, it is the Group 1 Dubai Shima Classic. It's going for a purse of $6 million. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 8 horses going the distance of ground of 2,400 meters, or 1 lap around the 1.5 mile circumference turf course. 2,400 meters, 1.5 mile turf course. My top selection here, I'm going to go with the number 3 horse Magic Wand. I'm going to go 3-6-2 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 362 Tricast Trifecta. Top selection 3-horse Magic Wand. This 4-year-old filly by Galileo. Aidan O'Brien trains. Ryan Moore picks up the mount. The horse's most recent outing came the 26th of January here in America at Gulfstream in South Florida. Mile 3/16 in the Pegasus World Cup turf. The horse finished second by 2.5 lengths. Was closing up well at the end. Had a little bit of traffic trouble, but got there on the inside. It was a good second place finish with low weight and no Lasix. Before that, in the Breeders' Cup Filly Mare Turf at Churchill, Mile 3/8 November the 3rd, the horse finished fourth by 2 3/4 lengths there. From a wide posture, stalked most of the race and just never had it. I don't think the horse liked the very soft ground. And then at Longchamp, a 1.25 in the Group 1 Prix de l'Opera, the horse finished second by a length by Wild Illusion. She closed up well from the back of the pack. She ran a good effort there. And then a Longchamp in the Group 1 Prix Vermeil, she finished second by a head. And that day she didn't break all that well, but again she closed up well. She loves the 1.5 miles. She likes a dry, good turf course. She's going to see it today. She's a good posture. She has a race under her belt already this season, and I think she's a live horse with a little less weight of 120 pounds. I'll use her here at 6-1. Along with the 6-horse Rada Oro, this 5-year-old horse here, Christophe Lemary gets leg up on this one. The horse's most recent outing came in Japan on the 23rd of December at Nakayama, mile 9/16 in the Rima Kinen Grand Prix, and the horse finished second by a neck that day. And this horse fought a very good run down the straightaway. She closed up well. She just missed, but like I said, she ran a good effort there. Before that, at Tokyo in the Group 1 Tien show, she won by 1 1/4. He won by 1 1/4 there. He stalked early on. He got lead 16th from the finish, and he took off again. A very nice run. And then at Nakayama, mile 3/8 in the Shaki Show Corner Stakes, a Group 2 event. And the horse, again from mid pack where this horse likes running, he got a great turn of foot and won. He should like the firm ground. He has a good post, and I think he's another live horse here. So I'll use him on the pick 4 or quaddy ticket, along with the 2-horse Old Persian. I'll go 3 deep here in the quaddy. But to recap my selection for the 8th for Meydan, it is the $6 million Group 1 Dubai Shima Classic. I'll take the 3-horse Magic Wand. I'll go 3-6-2 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, and I'll go 3-6-2 in the Pick 4 or the Quaddy. So now let's get to the featured 9th race from Meydan. The featured 9th race from Meydan, it is the Group 1 $12 million Dubai World Cup. This race is for 3-year-olds and upwards. We have a field of 13 horses tackling the distance of ground of 2,000 meters or the distance of ground of 1.25 miles on the Meydan dirt course. 2,000 meters, 1.25 miles. Top selection here in the World Cup, I'm going to take the 5-horse Seeking the Soul. I'm going to go 5-4-12 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta. 5-4-12 Tri-Cash Trifecta. Top selection of 5-horse Seeking the Soul, the 6-year-old horse by Perfect Soul. Dallas Stewart trains Mike Smith. Big money Mike Smith gets the leg up on this one. The horse's most recent outing came the 26th of January at Gulfstream on a very sloppy going. Mile 8th in the Grade 1 Pegasus World Cup. The horse finished second by 5 1/4 lengths there. He sat last early on during the early portions of the race, but he closed up well. He ran a very good second place finish at 34-1. Before that, in the Clark Handicap at Churchill, mile 8th, November the 23rd, he finished third by 3 lengths there. And that day, he did have a decent turn of foot. He showed some heart there. And then before that, in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile, Churchill, 1 mile, November the 3rd, he finished second by 2 3/4 lengths there. He had a little bit of trouble trip around the turn, but he ran a good second place finish. And then the Ack at Churchill, 1 mile, September the 29th, the horse won by 1 1/4. He sat back early. It was very wide, but that didn't matter because he took off clear at the end. He's run, his last one was very good, and his Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile race, with the trip, if he had a better trip, he would have possibly won. But he's run some good races in the past. He should like the 1 1/4 trip today. He has a good posture, and something I've noticed going through his form line, he can sit a little bit closer. He doesn't have to be a deep closer, so he can sit mid-pack, which I think will be key on this course. And I think he get a piece of it. So 7-1, I'll definitely use him along with the 4-horse Audible. This 4-year-old colt by Into the Mischief, Tom Pletcher trains. Flavian Pratt gets leg up. Tom Pletcher has never won this race before, so he's going for it. He's won a lot of races in America, but all the big races, but he's never won this one. But I think that could change here. This horse's most recent outing came the Pegasus a few weeks ago, Gulfstream on the 8th, and he finished 5th by 12 1/4 lengths there. He had a wide posture. He was very wide around the turns, and you just don't want to be wide around 2 turns. Doesn't who had the famous saying that you can be wide around one turn, but two turns you can't be wide around because you're never going to get to it. I think it's like one of the old-time trainers in California, God, what's his name? Bobby Frankel, I think it was, or Ron McAnally, one of those two, but I think it was Bobby Frankel. But he had always had a funny saying about being wide around two turns, but this horse was wide around two turns, didn't like the sloppy track, and it just wasn't the day to win. Before that, the Harlan's Holiday at Gulfstream, mile 16th on the slot, December the 15th. The horse finished second by half length. Second off the break, it looked like he was going to get away with it. It was a little bit wide early on, but it looked like he was going to hold on, but Sir Anthony closed up from the clouds to get there. But he just got caught. And then at Churchill and Cherokee Run, first start since the Derby, going 7/8. He won by 2 lengths. He snapped back early, had a great turn of foot, and he won quite decisively. And then he finished third in the Kentucky Derby. He ran a good race on the rail, and then he won the Florida Derby very nicely last year. He's a horse I think he will run a big race also. He's a good post draw, and I'll use him on the pick 4 ticket. Another horse I'll use here would be the 12-horse Thunder Snow, the reigning champion of this race. This 5-year-old horse by Helmet, Said Bin Sur trains. Christophe Soumillon gets the leg up. This horse ran the round 2 of the challenge here at Meydan a few weeks ago. He was first off the break, and he finished second by 9.5 lengths there. He stalked, and he just never quickened up. He needed the race. I think second off the break, another wide poster. He had a wide poster in this race last year, but with another wide poster today again, I think he can get a good run. Before that, he ran the Breeders' Cup Classic at Churchill, Monocourt, November 3rd, and he finished third by 1 3/4 lengths there. He didn't have the best beginnings, and he got bumped around, but he did have a decent third place finish. But Christophe Soumillon did go to town with the whip on this horse early on in the race, which was sacrilegious. If he was in France, he would have got a multi suspension there. And then before that, this horse ran here in New York at Belmont Monocourt in the Jockey Club, where he finished second by a neck. He lost a neck bob to Discreet Lover, but this horse ran a massive race second off the break, and then he ran the Gemini International where he finished 8th, and he set the pace early on, but he never quickened up. He needed the race. Going back to the form line, this horse always needs the first race of the season. Second off the break, he's usually firing to go. I think another horse at 6-1, I think he's firing to go, and I'll use him on the pick 4. So to recap my selection for the featured 9th race from Meydan, it is the $12 million Group 1 Dubai World Cup. As a top selection, I'll use the 5-horse Seeking the Soul. I'll go 5-4-12 in the Tri-Cash Trifecta, and I'll go 5-4-12 to end off the pick 4 and the Quattee. So good luck to all. Please follow me on Twitter at HorseRacingKit5. Good luck, everybody.